minority living in plain land. Government to ensure rights of all, irrespective of religion, caste or creed, says Prime Minister. Speaker Dr. Shini Sharmin Chaudhary urges Parliament members to work for building Bangladesh, ensuring transparency and accountability. Month-long Amur Ekushi Book Fair starts tomorrow. Prime Minister to inaugurate book fair. Public meetings, rallies cannot be held in capital except Fridays and Saturdays, informs Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obadul Qadir. No misuse of laws against media and journalists, as present government media friendly, says Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Venezuela opposition leader Guaido holds secret meetings with military to get support for ousting President Nicolas Maduro. And in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh Under-19 clinched 3-match ODI series against England Under-19, beating visitors by 5 wickets in second match. Assalamu alaikum. This is Simran Rashid welcoming you to news at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center.
And I am Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui with you. Just heard the headlines from Simran. We move on to the details now and other stories. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said her government is striving to ensure that every people, irrespective of their religious and ethnic identity, to get their equal rights. She said this while handing over a scholarship among students belonging to ethnic communities of plain land at a function held at Prime Minister's office in the capital this morning. The scholarship was given under a project titled Development Assistance for the Small Ethnic Communities Living in Plain Land, initiated by Prime Minister's office in 1996 to support the students of ethnic communities living in plain land. Under the program, about 500 students of different ethnic communities were given 25,000 taka each as a scholarship. Of them, 20 students received check from the Prime Minister. Laying importance on economic sovereignty of ethnic people, the Prime Minister said promotion of the ethnic culture is very important side by side their economic prosperity. The government wants to make sure that every people get equal opportunity to pursue education and use modern technology, she said, adding that none would remain neglected. The Prime Minister also emphasized on conservation of the diversity of lifestyle of ethnic people, hoping that participation of ethnic people in the state affairs would increase in the coming days. Pointing out beauties of natural and demographic diversity of Bangladesh, she said her government has given important focus on ethnic people for their socio-economic development as well as cultural diversity. The Prime Minister urged the ethnic people to strive for further development of their traditional occupation through using modern technology, saying ethnic people are part of country's national and social heritage. Chaired by Principal Secretary Mohammad Najibur Rahman, the function was also addressed by Education Minister Dr. Deepu Moni, Director General Admin of Prime Minister's Office Khalilur Rahman, and Buet student A. Matt on behalf of ethnic communities. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has urged Malaysia to exert pressure on Myanmar to create a congenial atmosphere so that the forcibly displaced Rohingyas can go back to their homeland. She raised the issue when the outgoing Malaysian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Noor Ashikin binti Muhammad Taib, made her farewell call on the Prime Minister in Dhaka today. Extending her thanks for Malaysia's support on the Rohingya issue, the Prime Minister said Bangladesh provided shelter to the displaced people on the humanitarian ground, but it is a pressure on the country. Sheikh Hasina highlighted her government's plan for temporary relocation of the Rohingyas to Bhasanchar Island, saying some 8,000 people are working for constructing shelter homes there. The Malaysian envoy termed the Prime Minister as a person with a very big heart for providing shelter to a huge number of displaced Rohingyas in Bangladesh. She thanked the Premier for her government's support during her tenure in Bangladesh. Noor Ashikin praised the development pace of Bangladesh, saying that the country is progressing fast. Later, a two-member ADB team comprising its Bangladesh country director Manmohan Prakash and team leader of the external relations Govinda Bar called on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at her office. During the meeting, they handed over an appreciation letter of the ADB president to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. In the letter, Asian Development Bank President Tahehiko Nakao greeted Sheikh Hasina on her appointment as the Bangladesh Prime Minister for the fourth term. The ADB President appreciated Bangladesh's rapid progress in all the areas of development over the last 10 years under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral A.M.M. Aurangzeb Chaudhry made a courtesy call on President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan this afternoon. President's Press Secretary General Abidin briefed reporters after the meeting. During the call-on, President Abdul Hamid congratulated the new naval chief and hoped that the Bangladesh Navy would go ahead with reputation under his leadership. Terming blue economy a very important sector for country's economic development, the President asked the naval chief to remain more alert to collect and preserve marine resources. During the meeting, Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral A.M.M. Aurangzeb Chaudhry sought directives and cooperation from the President. Secretaries to the President were present.
Newly elected Speaker of the National Parliament, Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry, paid rich tributes to memories of the martyred freedom fighters of the Liberation War by placing wreaths at the National Mausoleum at Shabar in Dhaka today. After placing wreaths, she stood in a solemn silence for some time there. Later, the newly elected Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Fojle Rabbi Mia, paid rich tribute to the memories of the martyred freedom fighters of the Liberation War. Whips of the Parliament, led by Chief Whip Noor Alam Chaudhry, also packed wreaths at the National Mausoleum. Later, Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry signed the visitors' book kept there. She expressed the hope that the elected parliamentarians will work to build Bangladesh a prosperous country, free from corruption, through its establishing rule of law, transparency and accountability. Earlier, the Speaker paid tribute to Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, placing wreaths at his portrait at Dhanmondi 32 in the capital. Later, Deputy Speaker Mohammad Fojle Rabbi Mia and whips led by Chief Whip Noor Alam Chaudhry paid tributes to the Father of the Nation. Besides, Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry was accompanied by the people of Pirganj in Rangpur, placed wreaths at the portrait of Bangabandhu. Newly elected Parliament member Dr. Muhammad Yunus Ali took oath at the Jatiya সংসদ Bhavan today. Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhry administered the oath. Deputy Speaker Mohammad Fojle Rabbi Mia, Whips Iqbalur Rahim, Abu Said Al Mahmoud Shapon were present in the oath-taking function. Senior Secretary to the Parliament Secretariat, Dr. Jafar Ahmed Khan, conducted the oath-taking ceremony. The month of language movement begins tomorrow. The country's people will pay tributes to the valiant sons of the soil who were killed during the language movement in the month of February in 1952. The Bengali nation achieved the dignity of their mother language on February 21, 1952 through the supreme sacrifice made by Salam, Shofiq, Borkut, Rofiq and others during a massive movement. The Language Day, February 21st, is also recognized as the International Mother Language Day. The month-long Amor Ekushi Book Fair, a yearly event for book lovers and publishers, will begin on the Bangla Academy premises and at adjoining Suhrawardi Uddan in the capital tomorrow. The theme for this year's Ekushi Book Fair is Bijoy 1952 to 1971, Nopoporjay. All the preparations have already been completed to make the book fair a success. This year, a total of 770 units were allocated to the 499 organizations. The authorities have allotted a total of 150 units at the Bangla Academy ground to 104 organizations and 620 at the Suhrawardi Uddan to 395 organizations. Besides, 24 pavilions have been allocated for 24 publishing houses, including Bangla Academy, which was the theme in the last number. There will be strict security arrangements in and around the book fair venue to avert any unpleasant incident during the fair. Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obadul Qadir has said that no meetings or rally would be allowed in the capital city except Friday and Saturday. He said this at a views exchange meeting with the officials of Dhaka Transport Coordination Authority, DTCA, at Nagar Bhavan in Dhaka today. Obadul Qadir said that if BNP wants to maintain its political existence, the party should join the parliament, refraining from spreading propaganda to make the general election questionable, as there was no question at home and abroad over the credibility of the 11th national election. He made it clear that the Awami League will offer its party symbol for only the chairman post in the Upajila election.
Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said that the government would not misuse any law against the journalists and media. Law will be made media-friendly. He said this while speaking at his ministry's work plan formulation meeting at the Secretariat today. Information Secretary Abdul Malik and concerned officials of the ministry were present in the meeting. Information Minister said the government would work sincerely for implementing the electoral commitments. He said that they are taking coordinated work plan to implement the information and media-related electoral manifesto fully. The minister also informed the meeting that new initiatives would be taken for the welfare of the journalists along with the existing ones. Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen urged the U.S. government to send back Rashid Chaudhry, a fugitive killer of father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who is now staying in the United States under political asylum. He told this to newsmen after holding a meeting with the U.S. Ambassador to Bangladesh, Earl R. Miller, at Foreign Ministry in Dhaka today. State Minister for Foreign Affairs Shahriar Alam was present. Dr. Momen said he wants back the fugitive self-confessed killer Rashid, who had been convicted by the court under a free judicial trial. He referred that earlier the USA deported Mohiuddin Ahmed, another convicted killer of Bangabandhu, to Bangladesh. Referring to the Rohingya issue, the Foreign Minister urged the USA to request those countries having close ties with Myanmar so that they would take effective steps to resolve the crisis soon. The Foreign Minister said they discussed various issues related to trade and commerce, including purchase of military equipments. Later, Ambassador of Saudi Arabia to Dhaka, Abdullah H.M. Al-Mutairi, called on Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen. Foreign Minister urged the ambassador to continue all cooperation, including increasing pressure on Myanmar on Rohingya issues and more investment in Bangladesh. The Secondary School Certificate SSC and equivalent examinations 2019 under 10 education boards are set to begin on February 2. The government has strengthened its efforts for checking question paper leakage during the SSC and equivalent examinations. Education Minister Dr. Deepu Moni said this while addressing a press briefing in the conference room of the Education Ministry in Dhaka today. Deputy Minister for Education Muhibul Hasan Chaudhry Naufal, Senior Secretary of the Education Ministry Muhammad Sohrab Hussain, senior officials and chairmen of the different education boards, among others, were present on the occasion. Dr. Deepu Moni said an extra 20 minutes time will be given for the students with disabilities in the SSC and the equivalent examinations, while examinees with autism will be given 30 minutes extra. The Education Minister said examinees must enter the examination halls 30 minutes before the scheduled time of examination. Stern actions will be taken against those found involved in any irregularities, including leaking question papers during the SSC examinations, she added.
Now, international news. Venezuela's opposition leader Juan Guaido says that he has held secret meetings with the military to win support for ousting President Nicolas Maduro. Guaido writes in an article in the New York Times. Meanwhile, 2 French television reporters and 4 members from Spanish news agency have been arrested in Venezuela. The crisis comes as Guaido declared himself interim president earlier this month and was immediately recognized by the US and several Latin American countries. Major powers, Russia and China, back Maduro, and military support is seen as crucial to his hold on power. Cities are all but shutting down across the U.S. Midwest as the region shivers in a deadly cold snap known as a polar vortex. At least 8 people have been killed in several cities as a result of the Arctic weather. States of emergency have been declared in the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Illinois, and even in the normally warmer Deep South states of Alabama and Mississippi. Temperatures fell to minus 30 degrees Celsius in Chicago, colder than parts of Antarctica, and minus 37 degrees Celsius in North Dakota. Freezing weather will chill 250 million Americans, and 90 million will experience minus 17 degrees Celsius or below. Toxic smog in Bangkok has forced more than 400 schools to close for the rest of the week to protect children from its harmful effects. Thailand's capital city is experiencing some of its worst ever air pollution levels caused by ultrafine dust particles known as PM 2.5. Traffic exhaust, construction works, burning crops and pollution from factories are blamed for the haze. Authorities' efforts to clear the air have so far failed.
The government has signed a primary agreement with Russian company Ebel to import uranium for Rupur nuclear power plant. The agreement was signed in the conference room of Science and Technology Ministry at the Secretariat in the capital today. Member of Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission Dr. Imtiaz Kamal and Rosatom Vice President Nikita Mazin signed the agreement on behalf of respective sides. Science and Technology Minister Architect Yafis Usman, Bangladesh Ambassador to Russia Dr. S.M. Saiful Haq, high officials of the Ministry and Russian Federation were present during the signing ceremony. The minister hoped that importing uranium from Russia for the Rupur nuclear power plant will be completed within the scheduled time. The government today introduced a helpline 16357 and formed 29 observation committees to monitor the implementation of the latest wages structure of garment workers and labour situation in the country. State Minister for Labour and Employment Begum Nujan Sufyan inaugurated the helpline at a press conference at Sirdap Auditorium in the capital today. The State Minister said the committees will monitor the implementation of the wages structure and settle the issues related to job termination following the existing laws. She also said the helpline will remain open for 24 hours so that the workers can make any allegation free of cost. The Department of Inspections for Factories and Establishments will operate the helpline, while its number 16357 will be exhibited in all factories. And now, sports news. In Cox's Bazar today, winning the toss, England under-19 team batted first and scored 256 runs for 7 in their stipulated 50 overs. Mrityunjay Chaudhary took 4 wickets for Bangladesh. In reply, Bangladesh reached their victory target of 257 runs and scored 258 for 5 in 47 overs, 5 balls. Tamjid Hassan scored 70 runs, while Mahmood Al-Hassan Joy was unbeaten on 58 runs and Akbar Ali scored 57 runs for the host. Tamjid Hassan was adjudged man of the match. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina awards scholarships to students of ethnic minority living in plain land. Government to ensure rights of all irrespective of religion, caste or creed, says Prime Minister. Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary urges Parliament members to work for building Bangladesh, ensuring transparency and accountability. Month-long Omor Ekushe Book Fair starts tomorrow. Prime Minister to inaugurate the book fair. Public meetings, rallies cannot be held in the capital except Fridays and Saturdays, informs Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir. No misuse of laws against media and journalists, as present government is media friendly, says Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Venezuela opposition leader Guaido holds secret meetings with military to get support for ousting President Nicolas Maduro. And in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh Under-19 clinched 3-match ODI series against England Under-19, beating visitors by 5 wickets in the second match.
And that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and we invite you to watch our 11:30 Bangla News. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.